No. Well, fuck. That was just bad timing on my part. Maybe don't spend any more, Red. That was dumb. I needed that. Frickin'. Oh well. And that beetle. Well, there'll be more of those. Now I have something else for the museum. Puppy! Sadly, can only say hi real quick. Hi real quick. Enjoy, puppy. Appreciate you stopping by. It's always good to see you. Level 20. A faint whisper breaks the silence. Hero. The water seal. The tablet has an unknown language inscribed upon it. Elon might be able to translate the text if you take a rubbing of the tablet to him. Probably Pat. Pat used Claude to get a bot that he used for to get a bot that he used for the spin command. See you in a couple minutes, Ren. Thank you. I think I needed 4 feathers, didn't I? Three cucumbers. I feel like I should be able to make grilled corn. Yeah, I needed 4 feathers. I still have that worm. Yes, there's the worm. The monster fang is for Saturday. And it is Tuesday, which turns out to not be Saturday. Let's see what I can upgrade tool-wise. I have the cove. You know what? Let's make myself a shovel. I have an iron fishing rod. Let me upgrade my sword. So I could put you in there. Because I don't think I would need the shovel out and about, only here on the farm. Okay. For laundry and yard work. I wish we were looking for better things, but hope that you enjoy. Uh, I don't know what I'm saying here. Okay, I'll be right back. I gotta pee. Okie dokie. I should probably have some better armor too at some point, other than just cloth everything. What is this? I don't know. What the hell was I doing? Thanks, Drat. Oh, I need to talk to... I need to go talk to Alan first. That new farmer, I don't trust him one bit. Standing right here. Derek, I don't know, I think he's pretty cool. Thanks, Reese. You're my favorite twink. Twig. Get yourself like a rag or something. I feel like I just walked past him and didn't realize it. There he is. Come here. There. Turn it. Well, hello, Derek. What's this you give me? Give him a summary of the events in the mines. You found a hidden chamber in the depths of the mines, filled with unknown artifacts, including a stone seal and a tablet with an unknown language on it, which you want my help translating? Incredible! Let's get this to my office. Do you think this has been below mystery this whole time? I hate to admit it, but this translation is a bit beyond me. Derek, this is written in a language called witch speak. It was spoken a very long time ago. There are a lot of legends surrounding it. Most spectacularly, there are claims it was how humans and dragons originally communicated with each other. Today, we have an incomplete knowledge of it. Much of our understanding comes from unreliable secondary sources. But lately, I'm beginning to suspect that there might be someone in town who knows a lot more about it than I do. Let's go ask Juniper. I can see we're on the same page. Juniper's dropped a few hints about the arcane unknown. I'm sure she can help us. I suspect requesting for her to meet us at the manor house will not bear fruit. She'll want to be on her home territory. To the bathhouse. Territory? Okay. I could just tell by the look on your faces that you're here to discuss something interesting. That is to say, interesting to you. If it's not interesting to me, you'll find my help to be very expensive. All right, Junie. Receptive as always, Juniper. My friend Derek found a witch speak tablet deep in the mines. What? Well, that is to say, I suppose I could take a look. We're grateful for your assistance. Let me fill you in on the details. I have some thoughts about the tablet's syntax, Juniper. Silence, nerd. Rude. Fascinating. Before I tell you what's on the tablet, I have one request in return. If you find any more of these tablets, Derek, you bring the rubbings directly to me. Fair enough. Of course, Juniper. We're all in this together. Lovely. Let me read it aloud to you two. O earthbound mortals who wish to remove the seal, gather proof of your desire to unite these lands again. Place in the dragon's hold 4 offerings. From the earth's good graces, a ruby. Catch a swiftly flowing fish of stone. A moth who gathers near the flame. A brown mushroom of the mines. Incredible. Please understand that in Witspeak it's much more poetic and expressive, but I've done the best I can with our common tongue. The only one I'm familiar with is the ruby, which I believe you can find in the mines. I would assume that means the rest can be found in the mines as well. You can count on me. I'm sure we can. What an incredible mystery. Good luck, dear. We'll be waiting to hear an update with bated breath. Okay. I don't actually want to go back to the mines. It's too late. Oh, good. Tells me exactly what I need. Oh. Mostly broken string lights. It's nice. A pike. Bumblebee. Okay, hold on. Bait. So I need to find Terethia. Do I have any chili peppers? I do. For Josephine. I have the 3 cucumbers. Oh, I guess I had those all along. Let's see if I can make grilled corn. I cannot. Do I have the recipe for grilled corn? I apparently do not have the recipe. Okay. Is the monster powder inside? Is. And I only have 2, which is expected. What the fuck? I've had the cicada all this time. This is why I need to get these things organized. So I'm looking for Josephine and Terethia. No, she's down there. No, she's not. She's down there. Okay. 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 Oh, for Christ's sake. There you go. Fresh chili peppers. Thank you. I don't think a dish can ever have enough spice, and neither does hemlock. There's the summer insects. Okay. Super. Got all the summer stuff done. It's the worm question. Kind of need to help me out like this. Thank you, Derek. I'm sure I'll have better luck with the fish now. Speaking of fish. That was dumb. Oh well. Let's go one more round of coconuts. And I gotta get home and let the babies inside. Actually, let me check in over here. You found a cracked seal underground. I seem to recall that such seals were once used to control the flow of magic between our realms. Break the seal, Derek, so that I may regain my strength. I trust this task to you. Harvester crop will occasionally drop a cooked dish that uses the crop. You can now charge your seeds to spread them across a wider area. Slow-growing crops now reach their first time harvest a day earlier. Harvesting crops will occasionally drop coins based on 5% of their selling price. Interesting. To the legendary fish. Ooh, artifacts will sell for 25% more. Yes, please. Sure, I'll do that. Actually, let's go ahead and do all these cheap ones. And now I'm broke again, but that's fine. Sleep. I'm gonna go have something to eat. Get go. Enjoy your food. Sorry I missed that. I'm totally observant. Mm-hmm. Only 4 more days of summer. Alright, so up here, let's turn in some stuff. Let's head back to the mines. Coconuts. I can do coconuts. Okay, I can't go any deeper. So. Hold on, what am I looking for? A lantern moth. I have the ruby, I'm pretty sure. I need to do some fishing, and I'm looking for a mushroom. It's just embarrassing awful aim. Just start from the beginning. There's the third monster powder I needed. Scrap metal ring. Equipped to increase defense. How do I... Yaha! I have 1 defense. Icon has a defense. If I didn't have the ruby before, I have it